What's up, guys? We're here with Monday Night NFL football action here for Week 15. We're going to take a deep dive on the Dolphins versus Steelers. I'll give out my favorite bets against the spread and over/under, and we're going to look at a bunch of NFL player props. Also, we're going to cover the full NBA Monday slate, so buckle up. We have a great video for you today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and player availability being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, a very busy Sunday out there, and we got off to a good start. We had the under there in that Baltimore-Cincinnati game. An easy cash. 51.5 points in a game that's going to be that cold seems wild to me. The Ravens get the shutout 24-0 win, so going with the under, that felt pretty good. Also, the Bengals offense didn't get anything going. Burrow getting picked off twice, getting decked, and yeah, things are looking very bleak there in Cincinnati. Unfortunately, we did buy in there on the Chiefs. Mahomes getting hurt there at the end of the game, and yeah, just the Chiefs couldn't run the ball in this game. The defense was great, but the offense just could not get going. So bleak situation there in Kansas City. We had the Patriots plus 1.5, and there's a case to be made that we got a little bit unlucky in that game. It was a classic Josh Allen performance for sure. Drake May not looking incredible in that game. We see the Bills eventually win 35-31. This game could have gone either way down the stretch. The Pats running game went nuts, but the Bills edged them out there in the end. We got back on track though. We had the Rams at -6, and while it was a wild game, the Rams do come away with the 41-34 win. A monster ground game there from Kyren Williams and from Corum. Puka Nacua continued to show he might be the best wide receiver in the NFL. The defense looked pretty terrible, but they did stop the Lions' running attack and got the job done there in the end. So we're not complaining. Good job there by the Rams. We also cashed the Commanders plus 2.5 as the dog of the day. Those teams that get shut out immediately just have monster bounce back performances the next week. So maybe we'll have to be looking at the Bengals because the Commanders coming off a shutout get the 29-21 win there over the Giants. A great game there from Mariota, an excellent performance from the Commanders running game, and the defense giving up only 21 points and coming out with a turnover. Not a bad day at all. Unfortunately, we were on the Packers yesterday as well. We got fooled on both sides in this one. Jordan Love went back to his old problems, getting picked off twice, looking mediocre. The Broncos look like monsters. Bo Nix having probably his best game of the season, going against what's supposed to be an elite defense. Micah Parsons, suffering that knee injury is pretty brutal, but overall pretty disappointed in what we saw there from the Packers. So a 3-3 day, but we're going to get right back after it here. We've got a nice Monday Night Football game to break down. We've got several nice NBA games to look at as well. So let's go ahead and dive in, guys. First up, we're going to look at the Miami Dolphins as they go on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Dolphins come into this game 6-7 on the season, so it has not been all sunshine and rainbows. Kind of a miracle that they've, righted the ship, or it feels like a miracle anyway, because they've won 4 in a row and 5 out of their last 6. Over their last 4 games, they've beaten the Jets, Saints, Commanders, and Bills. So that win over the Bills looks great. Taking down the Jets 34-10 last week. I'm not going to throw you a parade for that, but they do take care of business and get a very convincing win. They've kind of come up with a new formula for winning games here in Miami, and it's been don't let Tua play that much football, because he went 13 of 21, passed for 127 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 sack, not letting him do too much. The reason they won this game was Jalen Wright, 24 carries, 107 yards, and a touchdown. A-Chain, 7 carries for 92 yards and a touchdown. Waddle, 1 carry for 21 yards. Like, they are running the ball. That's the plan. That's the play. They're going to run the ball. They're not going to let Tua decide the outcomes of these games. The defense also looked very good last week, giving up only 10 points, albeit against Brady Cook mostly. Tyrod Taylor going down with an injury, and the Dolphins did what they were supposed to do defensively. I mean, obviously you're shutting down like a third-string quarterback at this point. They did a good job, a decent job at least, against the running attack there of the Jets. Obviously they're going to be going up against a much tougher opponent in this one, though. The Jets, a team with nothing to play for. The Steelers, kind of a different scenario. And the Dolphins have been making a lot of their progress recently against bad teams, but gotta give them credit where credit is due. They have been finding ways to win. They come into this game relatively healthy. A-Chain ready to go for this game. That's a big deal. The offensive line is healthy as well. The defense also healthy. Now, it's not like the defense has been great this season. Could have their hands full a little bit here. We'll see what happens. Over the course of the year, that Dolphins defense, 15th in the NFL, giving up 22.8 points per game. So nothing too special in that one. Now, we'll see what they can do on the road here, taking on the Steelers. Pittsburgh, they're 7-6 on the season. All the drama around Mike Tomlin, like should they fire him? Should they be moving on from him? Like yada, yada, yada. Well, they bounced back and get a 27-22 win last week in Baltimore. This team just, every time you give up on them, they find their way back in. Mike Tomlin, every time you go on him, all of a sudden you see, well, they are 7-6, but they're leading the AFC North, and they're on pace to have another above 500 season. So we'll see what happens down the stretch. In that win over the Ravens, Aaron Rodgers looked great. DK Metcalf looked great. They kind of abandoned the running game in that one, not something that I expect to be the case in this game, but Rodgers, 1 touchdown, 284 yards through the air. A very, very good day. Sacked 0 times, I might add. Metcalf, 148 yards, caught 7 out of 12 targets. Crazy, crazy work there. Jaylen Warren actually very, very active in the receiving game. Caught all 3 of his passes for 49 yards and a touchdown. So Rodgers not having any trouble, finding his targets in this one. So we'll see if we get a similar performance from him here. Defensively, they gave up 22 points to the Ravens. They did a very good job of making Derrick Henry earn everything he got. It took him 25 carries to get his 94 yards. They did give up a 55-yard run there to Keaton Mitchell, but other than that, they looked pretty good. Limited but did not stop Lamar's running attack. Not a terrible day there from the Steelers defensively. Not that they've been great defensively this season. I mean, they gave up 22 points in that game. On the season, they're giving up 23, almost 24 per game. That's 19th in the NFL. The defense just has not been nearly as good as projected coming into the season. Everybody thought the Steelers were going to have a great defense. Well, not exactly the case. So we'll see what they can do in this one. They are playing at home. They're relatively healthy. We do see Pete out there at left tackle, so they will be on to at least their second string left tackle. Defensively, TJ Watt is out, and James Pierre is also out. So those are some kind of bad news situations here. Those we're not necessarily for sure. Obviously, a lot of weird health concerns going on with TJ Watt right now. James Pierre, that calf issue, nobody's playing through calf issues as a professional athlete anymore. That's going to be a thing of the past. So they are a little bit banged up coming into this game, but they are playing at home. They are 3-point favorites. We've got a total of 42.5 in this one. Miami is 7-6 against the spread. They're 3-3 against the spread on the road, and they are 7-5-1 to the over. The Steelers are 6-7 against the spread. They're 3-3 against the spread at home, and they are 7-6 to the over themselves. The weather for this game is a huge concern to me. It's going to be around 20 degrees, and we have around 7-mile-per-hour winds, which is going to make it feel even colder than that 20 degrees. Guys, we are going to be fading Tua here in cold weather and backing the Steelers. Definitely give me the Steelers here. Since 1992, the Steelers at home are 22-1 on Monday Night Football. Rodgers is 11-2 straight up on Monday Night Football in his career. Tua, under 40 degrees, playing an under 40 degree game in this one by a lot. He's 0-5 straight up and 1-4 against the spread, losing by an average of 19 points per game. Don't need to tell me any more than that. That one loss that the Steelers did have on a Monday Night Football home game, by the way, since 1992 was a COVID year where there were no fans. So I will definitely be taking the Steelers here at -3. You could also just take them on the money line. That could end up being our lock of the day as well. That's a potential. But either way, I'm going to be on the Steelers here in a very, very big way. I am a little bit worried about that banged up defense. They're going to have to find a way to stop the run here, but I do think they'll be able to figure something out. And Tua is not going to be able to beat them here playing in a cold weather game. Now, in terms of our total play for this game, we've got only 42.5 as a total. I'm going to lean just slightly towards the under, but if this was like 45, I could probably get on board with the under in a bigger way, but with only 42.5 and neither defense is that incredible to me, I can't get that involved in the under. But I do think probably in a cold weather game with Tua under center, you might want to look at the under. In terms of props for this one, right off the bat, we're going to fade Tua. I'll take him under 28.5 passing attempts at -115. Might be the lock of the day, honestly. The Dolphins have clearly decided to take the ball out of Tua's hands. He hasn't had more than 23 pass attempts in any of their last 4 games, and with all them being wins for Miami, I don't think there's any chance they deviate from that plan here on Monday Night Football. I will also take A-Chain over 79.5 rushing yards at -107. He's been over this number in each of his last 4 games. The Steelers' defense has looked extremely gettable this season, and they're a little bit banged up, so as long as he can stay healthy, and apparently that rib thing is not a big concern right now, I expect him to find plenty of success. I also think you could find the end zone in this one, so a couple A-Chain props there. -115 for him to score touchdowns is not crazy. He had 4 touchdowns over his last 4 weeks. If he doesn't find the end zone in this one, it would feel a little bit weird to me, but we'll see what happens. I do think there's a pretty good chance the Steelers will be packing the box in this game, so we'll see what happens there with A-Chain. On the Steelers side, I'll take Rodgers under 1.5 passing touchdowns here at -116. I just don't think we're going to see him have an incredibly, huge night throwing the ball, at least in terms of touchdowns. He hasn't thrown 2 TDs in any of his last 5 games, and while Miami's defense isn't anything special, I just don't really think that's going to be the game plan for the Steelers. I think we're going to see much more of a running attack here from Pittsburgh. I'll also take Jonnu Smith under 10.5 receiving yards here at -114. He's clearly not a big part of the game plan on a nightly basis here. He only got one target last week against Baltimore and has not found any success in his last 5 games, except for that weird one against the Bears a couple weeks ago. I doubt he gets much attention at all in this one. I'll also take Jaylen Warren here to score a touchdown at +100. He's found the end zone in 3 straight games. I expect the running game to do some work here against Miami. His touchdown last week was a receiving one. That's a nice little bonus that we can count on him to be very active there in the passing game as well as on the ground. I'll also take his over here on rushing yards. I don't think that's out of the question. Over 51.5 is not that big of a number. I know he's been under this number a couple weeks in a row, but I feel like the Dolphins are a little bit vulnerable to the run, and with the weather being the way it is, I do think the Steelers are going to focus much more on running the ball than they are going to be focused on pushing it down the field. Before we hop over and look at the entire NBA slate here on a relatively busy Monday, we got to shout out StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. We have experts breaking down all the major sports. We've got daily NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, college football, and college basketball picks. We're coming off a nice day over there on the college basketball side for sure in the premium section, going 2-0, cashing Troy +6.5 and Vermont -6. A very good day over there in everything non-NFL for sure, cashing only half of our NBA player props. Moody got over his 7.5 points, but Trey Murphy couldn't get to those 4 assists. Going 1-1 on the NHL side, so not too bad. A very busy day on the premium NFL side over there, cashing the Rams, cashing the under there in that Chargers Kansas City Chiefs game, cashing a big 4-unit play there on the Bills, so well played. He was on the opposite side of that one. Some bad luck on some of the other ones. Our premium capper also got a little bit fooled there on the Packers, just like we did, but overall, not looking like a terrible day over there on the premium side. So definitely want to get over there and check out the premium stuff at StumpTheSpread.com, but definitely get over there and check out all the free stuff. It's absolutely free, no charge to you to go over there and check out the free picks every single day. Those have been great value. You definitely don't want to be missing out on those throughout the week. You also want to get over there and use our free use bet size calculator. If you've got questions on how you should be managing your bankroll, that's a great way to answer those. Also, you got to get over there and get on that free email newsletter, guys. I can't stress how valuable that newsletter is. You get 1 free pick a day at least straight to your inbox every single day. You get updates on our results. You get parlays in those emails very, very often. Tons of great information on NFL props every week. We cashed a ton of NFL touchdown props this weekend. They're all on the screen right now. There are too many for me even to remember off the top of my head, but it was a pretty wild week 15 here in terms of touchdown props. Our guy just was nailing all of them. I don't know. It was nuts. It was pretty nuts. So you got to get on that email list so you don't miss out on that information. It's really easy to sign up. You just go to StumpTheSpread.com and set up a free account, and you'll be on that email list. If you're having trouble getting the emails, check your spam folder. That can be an issue every so often, but definitely get over there and check out all that free stuff. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, they get access to our members only giveaways. And lucky for you, if you're here today, you're about to see what one of those members only giveaways looks like. We do one every single Monday. Every single week we give away a Stump the Spread hoodie here, and this is how it works. We put the name of every single solitary YouTube channel member that we have on this big wheel that you're about to see right now. We spin that wheel live on the video, and whoever it lands on, they get a Stump the Spread hoodie of their size mailed straight to their address of choice. So we're going to click this button right now and see who it lands on this week. Love doing these giveaways. Would love to do more of them. Honestly, we get more channel members, we'll do more giveaways. But it looks like this week's winner is going to be Larry, let us know that you see that you won this giveaway down there in the comments. We'll direct you what to do next. Basically, we're going to have you email StumpTheSpread.com. We'll get that all figured out, but we can get that hoodie out to you as soon as possible. So guys, definitely, if you're interested in being part of this giveaway next week, click that little join button right below the video and become a YouTube channel member. Huge shout out to all my YouTube channel members. I know you guys are some of my biggest supporters, so really sincerely appreciate every single one of you. Now guys, hopping in to break down our full NBA basketball slate here on Monday. We got a couple games on Peacock, so a couple nationally televised games. We got a 5-game slate, and first up, we're going to be looking at the Detroit Pistons as they go on the road to take on the Boston Celtics. Now, the Pistons come into this game fresh off a monster 142-115 blowout win there over the Hawks. They've won 5 out of their last 6 games. They're 20-5 on the season. They are cruising out there in the Eastern Conference. In that win over the Hawks, obviously not a lot of negatives, I'll say that. Pretty much just a blowout. Duncan Robinson shot the ball well, like we saw from Jalen Duren. Kay didn't have to do too much, only played 23 minutes in that game. Asar Thompson had a very nice night. Isaiah Stewart played well. honestly, just up and down the lineup, they played amazing. They shot 41% from three, 58% from the field. They dominated, well, maybe not dominated, but they did win the battle of the boards. So lots of positives for Detroit in that one. And the injury report for them coming into this game looks very, very clean. They are rested. They are ready to go. Everybody's healthy and ready to get after it. So doesn't get a whole lot better than that if you are the Pistons as they go on the road here to take on the Celtics. Now, Boston, they're only 15-10 on the season. They are coming off a kind of shocking 116-101 loss there against the Bucks. That was a weird game. They jumped out to a nice lead there at halftime and then just forgot to show up for the second half, getting outscored 13-27 in the third quarter. It was a weird one, guys. We cashed an over there on Jaylen Brown's scoring, but just barely, and they gave up 31 points to Kyle Kuzma. They got Kyle Kuzma in this game. It was Kuzma and Bobby Portis that won this game for the Bucks. The Celtics don't have all the answers that they're used to having defensively, and it really showed in that game. Pritchard, not a good shooting night from him. Jordan Walsh continues to look great and earn himself more minutes. This bench is a little bit thin, especially when you see an off night there from Anthony Simons, which is what they got in that one for sure. I mean, he went 1 of 6 from 3 and 2 of 9 from the field. That's not been the norm for him. He's been very, very consistent scoring the ball coming off the bench for them. So we'll see what things look like in this game. Obviously, we're not expecting any massive changes from the Celtics. I think they're going to, round into form here at some point. They're fully healthy coming into this game, so that's at least a nice little added bonus. They have played Detroit twice this season already. 1-1. The Pistons won 119-113 back in, September. And then, they won. The Celtics won 117-114 back in November. So we'll see what goes on in this one. Looking at the numbers here, the odds makers have it as basically a coin flip. The Celtics are actually favored by 1.5. We've got a total of 229.5 in this game. Detroit is 6-5 against spread on the road. They are 5-1 to the over/under on the road. Boston's 7-5 against spread at home. They are 7-5 to the over at home as well. I do think this is a pretty decent spot to go ahead and play the bounce back game in terms of, shooting stuff, but I don't know if it's going to, basically I do think we can look at the over potentially in this game. I think over 229.5 is live. In terms of a side though, I do think the Pistons are in good shape in this one. Despite playing on the road, I think the Celtics, probably not going to be in the best shape for this game overall. I just don't think they can deal with the depth that the Pistons have. Next on the dock, we've got the Toronto Raptors headed to Miami to take on the Heat. The Raptors are 15-11 on the season. They've dropped their last 4 in a row and 6 out of their last 7. They've been missing RJ Barrett pretty freaking bad. They didn't have Emmanuel Quickley there in that cup game. That was pretty devastating stuff for them to lose him. In that game against the Knicks, they just didn't have it. They just didn't have enough. There's no question about it. You can't be missing 2 of your best 3 maybe players and have much of a chance there against a team that's really trying to win. Brandon Ingram played great, 31 points from him, but other than that, not a lot was going the right direction there for the Toronto Raptors. We were on the Knicks big in that game, and so that paid off, but yeah, it was rough to see them without no Quickley and no RJ Barrett as well. They struggled in that game for sure. The Raptors have had a pretty good season overall, but not recently. It's been pretty bleak recently, and injuries can do that to you over the course of a long, long season. Quickley was just dealing with an illness. He's back. He's ready to go. He'll be fine for this game. RJ Barrett, the news is not nearly as good. He has been ruled out for this game. Sounds like he's maybe getting at least slightly closer, but I don't know. PRP injections and stuff like that hasn't. He's not going to be playing. Next chance is apparently Thursday against the Bucks. I would be shocked to see him come back at that time. Other than that, they're healthy and ready to go. So that's a step in the right direction. But they're headed to Miami to take on the Heat, who've also been a pretty good team this season, but not so good lately. They've lost 4 in a row and 5 out of their last 6. Their only win over that span was against the Clippers. They lost their cup game to the Magic. And it looked bad, guys. It looked really bad. Norman Powell was airballing shots. Tyler Hero was airballing shots. A really bad night from him from long range. The Heat as a team shot 24% from 3 against a Magic team that hasn't been that impressive defensively this year. So it's been a bit of a rough look the last few games. There's rumblings that Hero coming back somehow has made them worse. I don't think that makes any sense really, but we'll see what they can do. The depth hasn't been coming through as well. Kel Ware playing only 12 points should be a criminal offense. Him playing 12 points in that game against the Magic is insane to me. Insane. I don't know if Spoelstra's on some sort of ego trip or what the deal is, but something should be done about that. Kel Ware needs to be playing more minutes than that in every single freaking game. But we'll see what goes on with the Heat. They're pretty healthy coming into this one. Larson won't be ready to go, but other than that, they are healthy and ready to get after it. They're 6.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 237.5. Toronto's 500 against the spread team on the road. They're 7-5 to the under on the road. The Heat are 8-5 against the spread at home. They are 7-6 to the under at home, which is actually a little bit wild considering how high scoring the Heat have been this year. But I actually think under 237.5 is very live in this game. It is a bounce back shooting spot for the Heat. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see them putting up those kind of cartoon numbers anymore now that Hero's back. It just seems like it's changed something. So I'll lean a bit towards the under. In terms of side, I'll lean a bit towards the Raptors and the points. Will anything from this game make the pinned comment? We'll have to wait and see, but it seems like a long shot to me. Rolling right along here, we're looking at the Dallas Mavericks heading to Utah to take on the Jazz. The Mavs are 10-16 on the year, but they've been headed in the right direction. They've won 5 out of their last 6 games. The only loss over that span was against the Thunder. Everybody loses the Thunder except for Wemby and the Spurs, apparently. But in that win over the Nets, their last time out, it was a 119-111 game. They gave up a lot to Michael Porter Jr., but other than that, played really well. Anthony Davis, 24 points, albeit not super efficient. It also wasn't a great shooting night from 3, especially for the starters there from the Mavs. Cooper Flagg, though, looking good, playing well. He was a plus 10 out there with 22 points. Ryan Nembhard, it seems like some of the magic is starting to fade. He is very undersized out there, struggles to get his shot off at times. A great story. I hope he gets back after it, but that was a little bit of a tough look. Clay, shooting the ball well, 20 minutes, 12 points, 4 of 9 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. Seems like he might be figuring things back out as well. So that could be really, really nice there for the Mavericks, who come into this game. Obviously, there's always going to be question marks for this squad. Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, both on the injury reports. And Anthony Davis, he's officially questionable due to a left calf contusion. So we'll see if he actually plays. And Gafford, dealing with an ankle, is questionable for this game as well. So pretty massive question marks here. The Jazz, they come into this game at 9-15 on the season. They've actually been much more competitive than a lot of people would have given them credit for heading into this year. Keontae George has played great. He's coming off a 39-point game there against the Grizzlies in their 130-126 win there in Memphis. So the Jazz will be back home for this one. In that game against Memphis, not only did Keontae George play well, but Markkanen put up 26 points. He continues to look great. Kevin freaking Love dropping 20 pieces off the bench, 20 points in 20 minutes. Crazy to see Kevin Love out there just balling still. Other than that, nobody going particularly nuts off the bench. As a team, they shot 36% from 3, but let's keep in mind they beat the Grizzlies. They did not beat anybody that's even very good. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in this one. The injury report for the Jazz is looking okay. Nurkic probably going to be out for this game, but if that means more, he officially will not play in this game. So yeah, if that means more Kevin Love and Kyle Filipowski minutes, I guess sign me up. Like I don't think we should be too upset about that. Looking at the numbers here, I think it tells us a pretty interesting story about what the odds makers expect to be the Mavericks injury report. The Jazz are only plus 1.5. We've got a total of 238.5 in this game. Dallas is 5-4 against the spread on the road, 6-3 to the under on the road. The Jazz are 9-4 against the spread at home. They are 9-4 to the over at home. I'm going to take the Jazz here getting 1.5 because I feel like that spread tells me that Anthony Davis will not be playing in this game. Keep an eye on the injury report for sure. Weirder things have happened in the NBA. We all know how their injury reports can be, but this is telling me that Anthony Davis is not playing. If Anthony Davis is not playing, I do like the Utah Jazz in this spot. Rounding into the home stretch, guys, we're looking at probably the biggest game of the night, and this is the other Peacock game of the night. We've got the Houston Rockets going on the road to take on the Denver Nuggets. The Rockets, they've been excellent this year. They've won 3 out of their last 4 games. They just beat the Clippers in a wild when they win that game 115-113, but the Rockets have been very solid. Sengun had a good game in that one, putting up 22 points, albeit not the best shooting night, but 15 boards and 5 assists. He also had 5 turnovers, but did have 5 steals, so let's give him some credit where credit is due. Amen Thompson, 20 points in 41 minutes. He's soaking up a ton of minutes. Aaron Holiday and Reed Shepherd both playing pretty well there off the bench. This thing got really, really scary there down the stretch. Maybe they need a little bit more Kevin Durant shot making. I'm not sure, but it got very, very scary. They did end up with a massive, massive edge there on the boards. They out-rebounded the Clippers 28-51. 51 rebounds the Rockets had. That was pretty nuts, and still managed to make this a close game. So all the issues that you thought you were going to see from the Rockets because they weren't going to have Fred VanVleet this season have very much come to light. I don't know if they're going to make some sort of move and try and get a real point guard at some point, but it does kind of seem like that's what they're going to need to do if they want to actually have a chance against a team like the Thunder or even the Denver Nuggets or something like that in a 7-game playoff series. But speaking of the Denver Nuggets, that is who they're going to take on in this game. The Rockets coming to this one pretty much fully healthy, although Tari Eason dealing with that oblique issue. He's questionable for this game. I'd be a little bit surprised to see if he plays. He hasn't played in a month. Whenever they get him back, that's obviously going to be a big deal. Other than that, they are healthy and ready to go. They're taking on the Denver Nuggets, who went into the little, cup break winners. They've won 4 in a row now. Now it's like they beat any great teams. They beat the Pacers, Hawks, Hornets, and Kings. But the way they were beating teams has been a pretty good look. Jokic playing great is kind of a given at this point, but Jamal Murray has been playing really well also. In that blowout win over the Kings, Jokic, put up, 36 points, was a plus 26, didn't quite have a triple-double. Jamal Murray didn't have to do too much, and thank goodness, because he had a pretty bad shooting night. But Peyton Watson getting some good minutes and playing well in those minutes. Cameron Johnson has found his jump shot again. The bench is a little bit thin looking at times, but this team isn't necessarily at 1,000% right now. Valanciunas, 15 points, 6 boards off the pine is great. Tim Hardaway Jr., only 1 of 6 from 3, but still found a way to make himself kind of productive in that game. So there's some good news for the Nuggets still, and some very good news is they're fully healthy coming into this game. So we'll see what they can do. Obviously, they've been missing Aaron Gordon for a very long time. Having him back, having Brown back, that would all make a big difference. Not Bruce Brown, Christian Brown, but we'll see what the Nuggets can continue to do here down the stretch. They're healthy, given what they're used to having right now. They're 1.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 234.5. Houston's 9-3 against the spread on the road this season. They are 8-4 to the over on the road. Denver's 5-5 against spread at home. They are 7-3 to the over at home. These trends are really telling us to just go ahead and take the over. It's a pretty big number. 234.5 is not a tiny total, but I do think we're going to see the over probably come through in this game. Also, if you're begging me for a side here, I will be on the Denver Nuggets. A -1.5, not a problem for me. I do think they can pose some problems here for the Rockets. They've got some options to guard Kevin Durant. They can make the offense just a little bit tough there in the Rockets. Do I think Jamal Murray's going to have a great game getting defended by Amen Thompson? No, I do not. But I think the Nuggets have enough shot making. I think they have all the playmaking in the world in Jokic. And if they can knock down their shots here playing at home, I think they're in great shape to win this game. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Memphis Grizzlies going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, the Grizzlies are healthier now. They're only 11-14 on the season, so the bottom hasn't completely fallen out. They are coming off a 130-126 loss there to the Jazz, but the good news was that Ja came back and played in that game. He scored 21 points in that loss. Santi Aldama led the team in scoring, so the combination of Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. was supposed to lead the Grizzlies into the future with a very bright future, but that just has not been the case. Ja's not available enough. I guess the jump shot looked okay in that game, but really has not embraced the NBA's current trend of if you're going to be a scoring superstar guard, you got to be getting to the line 10 or 12 times a game. And I don't know if he just doesn't get the calls or if he just doesn't do enough flailing and screaming and falling, but it just has not led to him getting enough free throw attempts. Jaren Jackson Jr. has fallen off the side of a mountain this year or something. He has just disappeared. He had 12 points in his 27 minutes in that loss, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover. I don't know. I don't know what to say about him anymore. Santi Aldama played well. They've got some interesting young players on the squad that might help them out in the future. Cam Spencer putting up a 20-piece on perfect shooting. Pretty crazy. He went 6 of 6 from 3. Pretty nuts. Seeing the brothers go nuts out there on a nightly basis is kind of cool, but overall, things have been kind of bleak for the Grizzlies. They come into this game looking much healthier than they have been normally. No Zach Edey is a huge problem for them down the stretch. We'll see when he's able to come back, but right now, Ja, Jalen Wells, Santi Aldama, Cedric Coward, Jaren Jackson Jr., healthy and ready to go. So we'll see what they can do here in LA, taking on the Clippers, who've been the biggest bust of the NBA season by far this year. They're 6-19 on the year. They're fresh off a 2-point loss against the Rockets and a 3-point loss against the Timberwolves and a loss to the Grizzlies. So this is a little bit of a chance for revenge here. They did lose 107-98 against Memphis. The Clippers' last game was that 2-point loss against the Rockets. Zubac went nuts in that game. 33 points, 13 of 14 from the field, and his team still loses. That cannot feel good. Harden had a big game. Kawhi had a big game, but nobody else really chipped in that much. Bogdan Bogdanovic coming off the bench has actually been nice. But when the rest of your bench is Batum, Brook Lopez, I don't know what to say, guys. This team is just not good. They got destroyed on the boards in that game that's a huge issue. And you got guys like John Collins, Kawhi, and Zubac, and Chris Dunn. Like, these are people who are supposed to be getting like effort rebounds. And I guess I can't say anything bad. Kawhi had 9 boards in that game. So we'll see what they can do down the stretch. But really, it feels like something is broken for this team. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Harden is on the injury report right now. He's dealing with a left calf contusion. So we'll see if he plays. People usually don't roll the dice with calf issues. So he may end up sitting this game out. He's played a very heavy minutes load this season. Played 40 minutes there against Houston in that losing effort. So we'll see what happens. The Clippers, they're 3.5 or 3-point favorites at home in this game. We've got a total of 227.5. Memphis is 5-7 against the spread on the road. They're 8-4 to the under on the road. The Clippers, they are 1-9. 1-9 against the spread at home this year. They are 5-5 to the over/under at home. I don't feel like I have a choice. I think we have to continue to fade the Clippers until we're proven wrong. Give me the Grizzlies here, getting 3.5 points. Even though they're on the road, I think they'll be fine here against the Clippers team that's terrible at home and might not have James Harden. I think that's going to be a huge problem if they don't have Harden for this game. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today on a pretty busy Monday. Do me a big favor, hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I appreciate everybody watching these videos. Make sure you click on the link in the description. Get over there to stumpthespread.com and get on that free email list. Check out the premium picks. Check out the free picks that are posted over there every single day. And we'll see you guys right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.